welcome back to my channel, Trailblazer of Light. Today, I'd like to talk about my return home trip, as it was pretty gnarly. But before I start talking about that, my trip up there to Missouri from Georgia, bringing my granddaughter home, well, not home, but to her dad's new home. I treated that like she was precious cargo. And I didn't want nothing to happen to her, and I just wanted to get there safe and sound. And so the sucky part about it was that it rained and it downpoured at least 15 storms in 2 days that I drove through white knuckling it. It was just so exhausting, and my body hurt when I got there. All that white knuckling in the tensed position, it just kind of just really exhausted me. And so when I got her there, I was finally able to relax some, but the weight of the whole trip was still upon me. We took pictures. We argued a couple of times and on that trip, and just because she just wasn't very thoughtful, and I dropped some stuff, and it would have been nice for her to just jump and say, Nana, let me help you out, but I actually had to point it out to her, and it was a little frustrating, as I am handicapped. And but anyway, so we had a couple of disagreements there, and but we made it through it, and we got there safe and sound. And so then I stayed there a couple of days and hung out with Jean and Jesse, her dad and stepmom, and it was really great. They took us around to the landing strip in Branson, Missouri, and that was really cool because there was just like all these different places to go, like the Pizzaris, whatever Pizzaris I think it is. It's an Italian place, Pizzones or something like that. Anyway, and they were just like really cool pictures, so she took a bunch of pictures, and I'm pretty proud of her pictures because she's really got an eye, and I think she's gonna go somewhere with her photography. Sorry, my brain sometimes just doesn't want to grasp words I want to say. But so there's going to be some pictures added to this video in relating to those photos. And so my biggest thing was my realization was when I was returning home. This was just the most insightful thing I've ever witnessed for myself along my whole life. Like my whole life has been white knuckling it and trying to deal with this feral cat within myself, and not letting anybody come around and trusting anybody, and you know, during this journey of the last 3 years since my narcissist, Father God and I have been really suiting up and showing up for each other in a most beautiful, touching way. I can't explain it. Like, my peace is just unbelievable. But this road trip back home was not like the trip going there, because, like I said, that whole trip I white knuckled it, and I had that precious cargo and dropped it off safe. But on the way home, you know, I'm precious cargo too, and so isn't Georgia. And I forgot to have Georgia come up here and say hi to everybody. You gonna come say hi? You gonna come say hi? Come on, come here, Georgia. Come on, come on. Good girl. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Oh, good girl. Say hi. There she is. Good girl. I'll give you a treat in a minute. And so on my way home, it was like, I don't know, about maybe 2 hours into the first day, because it took like 5 hours each day, because I got a motel room. But on the way there, it took 9 hours a day to get there. And it took 2 days, so 18 hours to get there, and only 10 hours to get, well, almost 11 hours to get home, which really didn't make any sense. So don't put that economy, fuel efficient shit on your GPS for the maps, because I would have missed out on some beautiful scenery in the mountains, and I am a songwriter, and I did bring a couple of my CDs along with me, and so I handed a couple of them out, and so I'll get to that in a minute. But um, so I'm 2 hours into the drive, and all I play now is my CD in my car because I really love them, and they're just calming. And so I turned the radio off. I just wanted to sit with myself and think about everything that had just gone on, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything or forget anything on my way back through. Because I will have to admit that Lily was helpful in certain areas in that aspect. And so I pull over and I get gas, and I'm back on the highway, and I turn the radio off, and I sat with myself. And the peace and the quiet that was there was as surreal and so evident, just like the empty seat that Lily had occupied on the way to Missouri. That empty seat was very prevalent, and it was kind of lonely on the way home. Georgia's good, but she doesn't talk. She don't take pictures. I can't sit there and yell at her and talk to her and stuff. But it was really interesting, the peace that had swept over me in that moment was unforgettable. And I wanted to share that with you guys because, like I said, the white knuckling was not there. And I went through some rainstorms and I still didn't white knuckle it. I don't know. I know it wasn't just because Lily wasn't in the car and the precious cargo wasn't there. I just knew God was with me. I sensed him. I knew he was there. And it was a really beautiful thing. I have to admit. It was just, I can't describe it. I can't. If you guys can think about a word that matches what I'm trying to think, please put it in the comments. That'd be great. Because I can't put my finger. I know it was peace, but it was more beautiful than peace. It was, I can't come up with a word. Anyway, so I got to my motel room, and I didn't listen to the radio the rest of the trip. There was 3 more hours. I just sat there in those moments and enjoying my own company, and I could finally just breathe. And I sat there and I felt it, and I saw so much of the states that I drove through: Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and Georgia. It was just really it was a sightseeing adventure, and I'm really glad that I did it. Now, when I got to that motel, the motel was they were rehabbing it, so everything was beautiful in there, but nothing friggin' worked. I didn't have a TV that worked. I couldn't go on my phone. The outlet that was next to the bed on both sides didn't work. The lights on both sides of the bed didn't work. And in the bathtub, I wanted to take a nice bath and try to just relax in that, and I couldn't do that because the drain stopper wouldn't work. I was just like, are you kidding me? And so I went to the front desk, and I started talking to him and bitching a bit to him about it. I was like, what kind of room is this? He goes, well, we can move you to I said, I'm not doing that. I said, I just drove almost 6 hours, and I just want to come into a motel room and relax and just sit there and possibly take a bath and watch TV just to unwind from it. And I can't do any of it. I said, I want a discount. He goes, okay. So I got a 30% discount off of the price of the room, and I thought that was great. And so as a kind gesture back to him, I went and I grabbed him one of my CDs, and I went back and I sat with him for a good almost an hour and a half, just talking about the Lord and what he's done for me, and sharing my music with him. And I autographed my CD for him, and he said the nicest thing. He said that I had a sexual attractiveness about me, and it wasn't sexual in any way. It was a compliment, and I took it as such, and I thought that was just really nice that, you know, that the energy that I was portraying was not sexy, but it was, that he could see that there was something different about just me. That he could see that I was talking about Jesus with the love and intimacy that was protruding from me. And so that's what I took away from that. And so I sat there and I shared all my stuff with him, and the insights about what was going on with me moving forward. And he was so delighted. He just sat there and he just made comments and stuff. And he sat there and also said it was like he had his own little concert right there at work at the desk. And I thought that was priceless too, because right towards when I was sitting there ending my story, he started sharing his story. And that's what it's about. It's about sharing and building that connection with somebody that you don't just get from talking to somebody, just, not being open and curious about not just sharing yourself, but about having other people share their experience with you too. So I thought that was just fantastic, and I think God has just truly, truly blessed me, and I'm truly just so grateful. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just telling you what God is doing in my life, and I'm suiting up and showing up for Him because He's suiting up and showing up for me. I surrendered and I said yes. And when I surrendered and said yes, I went through the dark night of the soul. I went through the phoenix rising. I went through from the ashes, from beauty to ashes, and back again. And it's been a really lonely journey for the last 3 years. And now I get to see the fruits of my labor and his labor. And I get to look at myself in the mirror and be proud of the woman I am becoming today. Because this wasn't me 3 months ago. And I just started writing songs, probably now 4 months ago. I just started my YouTube channel 4 months ago. I just started a new revival ministry on my YouTube channel. I'm not my YouTube channel, but my Facebook page. And if somebody had said, could you see yourself here 4 months ago, I'd have said no. No. Because I had been broken. I was broken. And I was down and out. And I didn't know where I was going, what I was going to do. My future was way off into the future, and I'm just really glad that I stayed in it, and I stayed true not just to myself, but I stayed true to my relationship with Father God. And so on that note, I just want to say thank you everybody for being a part of my YouTube channel. Thank you for being patient with me, because when I got back from Missouri, I took 2 days off, and I should have posted this Sunday, and I didn't. I did post something, but I didn't post a video, and I'm sorry. Again, please continue to be patient with me, because when I got home, I was really just so exhausted, and it's taken me to today to get this going. And so on that note, thank you everybody. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and light, and go forth and sprout.